And I feel like I'm back in the same spot. It's like I never left from the last clip. Or the last month actually, because the last time I vlogged was, thought I heard a car. The last time I vlogged was actually almost a month ago. It's kind of crazy to think that it was almost a month ago. Maybe not a full month, maybe like 3 weeks, but yeah. I think the last vlog, or the first vlog of 2025, I called January Chronicles, or January Reflections, or Fragments, or something like that. And this will be February shorts, because February is short. And I didn't have many clips for February, only a little little bits and pieces, but it is still cold AF outside. Today's a little bit nicer. Like, my face is not freezing. It's still a little like chilly, but it's 40. It says 44, but it feels way colder than 44. So I am my usual walk. Just walking around, and yeah, just getting some fresh air because it's been a while. I did just come back from Miami last week. That was for work, and that was nice. I mean, I didn't really have a whole lot of time because it was mostly work, and you mostly spend time in a hotel room in meetings, but I did have a chance to walk out for a little bit on the last day, and it was like 80 degrees outside and so nice. I can't wait for that weather. Definitely not that here. It's cold. Well, I've semi-managed to clean up some of my mess on this desk, which not really a mess. It was just there's still a lot going on. But I tend to have a lot of stuff. But I'm working on it. At least I kind of have this little area here to work on. I have not used my Mac in I don't even know how long, because I've primarily been using my iPad, like for any like web browsing, writing, whatever, or my work computer, since I'm mostly on that anyway. But this is a 2013 MacBook Pro, and it still works like a champ. And the nerd that I am, I have pulled up my book library, which I started. It's actually like a template in Notion. I started cataloging all of my books, and I got to 45, which is not a lot because I have 300 plus books, so I gotta continue. And I really want to do that because I like that they're, like you can assign categories, whether you finish reading it, whether the book is in the library, a physical copy, whether the book is, maybe on loan, you gave it to a friend or whatever. If you want to read it next, or what's in progress, things like that. So I might kind of fiddle with that a little bit later, and I even added in score of the book, like what I thought about it, the book covers, when it was started, when it was finished, if you check it out, who you checked it out to, which, like, nobody really does anymore. Like, I've let my friends borrow books in the past, and I just never got them back. Lessons learned. Anyway, so before I ramble on, since this is kind of a creative, artistic channel, I wanted to talk a little bit about the, not a sketchbook, but I call it my sketchbook companion. I might have mentioned this in a previous clip, I don't recall. But it's actually a little notebook that I've had for well over a year now. I've mostly been writing in it last year and still continuing this year. But it's just like a regular notebook. It's not a sketchbook, although it's got plain pages. You could sketch in it if you wanted to. But it's one of those things I try to take with me everywhere I go. Like, it's one of those notebooks that stays with me. I got this pen. I really, really like it. It's a Fisher Space Pen. It's their Capomatic whatever, but it's raw brass finish. And I just like this idea that, like, as you use this pen throughout the years, right, since it's raw brass, it changes with the chemistry of your hand. So it's supposed to develop, like, a very nice patina. You can even kind of tell here, like, it's changing color right here. So over the years, the idea kind of for me with this pen is that over the years, let's say you use this pen for a number of years, 10 years down the line, it's like your favorite pen, you use it all the time. You know, when you look down on the pen, you can kind of see all your hard work, right? Because it's not only is the pen, I think, beautiful, but I think it has a lot of meaning. So I like that. And same thing with these little notebooks, right? I have sketchbooks. They're not always necessarily a moleskin or in a black leather bound notebook like this, or faux leather, whatever it is, right? Doesn't matter. But the idea of the little black book, right? There's a lot of great writers and artists who used to carry the little black book with them to sketch or write their ideas. And I think if you have ideas, you should carry something with you to write them down with. And it's a little bit better sometimes to have a physical thing, not just a phone, right? Like a note you save on your phone, but on a physical piece of paper. So I won't show you everything that's in here. I mean, it's not private or anything like that. Like whatever I put in here, it could be my thoughts or whatever, but I don't mind sharing it. Like I call this my book of ideas. My sketchbook companion, right? So I just have my information there in case it gets lost. And then I was testing out my little stamp here for my, I guess for my website and art business, whatever. Just it says established 2021, which is when I started my website, which I have not updated in a very long time, but anyway, I was testing out that little red stamp. I always wanted a little red stamp, like as a little signature thing, so it's in here. I was also testing out a, what do they call this? I got this for certificate of authentication, like for if I sell a painting, I can include a letter with it that's embossed. Oh yeah, embossing. So it's kind of embossed, right? Which is cool, right? It has certificate of authenticity, my name, and then my website on the bottom. So, yep. Now, the idea for this book was really to write down things that inspire me, or maybe some symbolism. Like I even had like dreams that I've written in here because they felt, I don't know, meaningful, or I felt like it could be something that would help me with creating ideas and generating new things for paintings and all of that. So, and like I think I mentioned this in another clip, but you know, getting an idea isn't just like sitting there and this light bulb goes off in your head. It could be, but it's triggered by something. So sometimes you have to go out and look for it. So here I kept seeing like bluebirds on my walks, and I still do, like from time to time. And then I like keep seeing them everywhere, like even online and things like that. So the color blue stood out, and then the bird stood out. So I started writing some symbolism for the color blue. Then the color orange, probably something that I saw. And here's an example. Like I sometimes print pictures and stick them in here. Where I walk, where I usually take my walks around here, there are these chairs that have like different words on them, like love, kindness, joy, peace, things like that. And I saw this blue jay like flew right in front of me and landed on a chair that said love. I just thought that was very symbolic. So that's kind of where all of this stemmed from. Although I think this happened after this, so kind of crazy coincidence and a crazy synchronicity. So bird symbolism, I had this is one where I felt like I had this like very spiritual dream. It was a falcon that landed on my hand. So I started writing symbolism for that. Here I was working on my Pull Back the Veil painting, and in there are pomegranates on the bottom. I could probably insert that painting or a picture of it somewhere here, but I started writing some symbolism for that, and it's very connected to like, what's the myth? Oh my god, Persephone and Hades myth that represents kind of life and death and changing of seasons. So I was writing that. Yes, I'm here. Like, so sometimes I plan paintings too, right? So you could see like here I had like dimensions in some instances. So there's this painting, which is still not done, but it's the one that's sitting up here. I was writing just kind of like where I wanted stuff. then skin tone recipes and such. So I do tend to plan paintings in here. Here I was looking to kind of like start a story. I left some pages blank because I thought I was going to plan more about that painting, but I didn't. Again, like just sometimes just doodles, like working out ideas and whatnot. Now, the next few pages are, again, more symbolism. You can see, like, I have paint recipes, like this painting that I was working on. I had the body paint recipe and the background paint recipe, and then I had some notes in here for it. And I just have, like, random ideas sometimes. I don't know, like, I wrote here, World of Shadows. I don't know, I think I just wanted to explore maybe a theme for paintings and things like that. I wrote about the books that I was reading in 2024. I think I only read 7 in total. Not fantastic, but it was okay. So here I just printed out the last book that I read. And then I wrote like notes and things that I thought about while reading. So here's a dream that I wrote in here because it felt very important, if you want to call it that. So I wrote that in here. And then I have a bunch of poems that I wrote. I'll skip through that page, like some stuff's personal, whatever. So nothing too crazy. I was exploring like doing this little story thing because at some point on my walks I started seeing like a whole family of foxes, which was very cute. So I took some pictures and I printed those out here, and then I was like doodling out some story idea. Again, you see like random sometimes doodles. Again, that's one of the paintings that I was working on, so I just had some notes in there for that. More stories, and then from here on out, it's like mainly like exploring. Here I wrote some notes on astrology because I started reading a book by Pam Gregory called You Don't Really Believe in Astrology, Do You? And that's the book that I'm reading right now, so I was just writing like what each of the planets meant. Same thing with like the houses and my own house chart. So it's very interesting. It's not like your mother's Sunday paper astrology. So again, like a lot of like story ideas basically. So like researching symbolisms, noting stuff down that I see, and then from here on out I set this goal starting here to write a short comic and then work on illustrating that short comic before I decided to do anything bigger than that. And I set a little challenge for myself to do at least 20 minutes of writing every single day. I think this was on March 25th. And I've pretty much been like doodling here and there and writing every single day for at least 20 minutes. Like if I did more, I did more, but if not, that was fine too. So I actually finished most of it, so that took up quite a few pages, but that's what this notebook is about. And this is how much I have left, and this is the one that I'm probably going to use for the next couple of months until I fill it up.